share my screen here for a moment. And I don't know how far we'll get in this journey, but I'm just going to walk everybody through it because some people listening to this won't have heard the build up, and I want it to make sense. So this is Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs with, physiological needs at the bottom, like air, food, water, shelter, clothing, etc. We like those are the physical material needs that we have as human beings. And then from the more emotional and psychological needs, the first one is safety and security. So that would have to do with, as it says here, health and employment, property, stuff, family, social stability within and outside of your family. And then we have love and belonging. So this is the idea that if you don't have enough air, you're not thinking about how you need to behave in order to belong, right? If there's really no food and water, um, you're not so interested in where you fit in this, social dynamic of your community. And after love and belonging comes esteem. Here in this picture, it's called self-esteem, but really they are called esteem needs, both from yourself and from outside of yourself, needing to achieve, to be seen by others, to be achieving. And at the top, we have self-actualization, which is about becoming all that you can be in terms of success, pursuing your purpose, whatever that's like the purposeful part of your life. Um, Same thing in a different, with different imaging, with self-actualization at the top. So what happened is that this Maslow didn't draw this triangle, okay, or this pyramid or whatever. He created the hierarchical structure of this, but the diagram was made by somebody else afterwards. This is not his picture of how it looks. And Maslow added at the later in his life another part, which is self-transcendence, which would come after self-actualization. So that speaks to the kind of spiritual journey that people are on, right? Like all of this is kind of real world stuff. This is the 3D experience of, coming into the world, needing stuff, needing physical things to survive, needing to feel safe, needing to, belong in the context of your family and society, needing to be seen by others, to be performant or achieving something, and needing to have an inner sense of self-esteem in order to be able to actualize who you're supposed to be. But he recognized that every culture of the world in humanity has somewhere in it a focus on self-transcendence. That's what every religion is about. It's about connecting to something beyond yourself. And what I started to wonder was, what does that mean to this diagram? Because if self-transcendence is the peak experience of being human, that all humans in all cultures um, aspire to, like to knowing what's beyond, right? Like what's beyond this material existence? What's beyond, like trying to, every meditative tradition is trying to give you an experience of being the observer of yourself, to go beyond yourself, to transcend your personality and be the observer of you. That is self-transcendence. Scout, I can't help you right now. I'm in the middle of something. Okay, you take care of yourself. And so how can it be that the tiniest part of this diagram is going to be the actual apex of our human journey? It didn't make any sense to me. And then I got kind of a download that it's not the top of this triangle, it's the start of the next one, which is an upside down version of the same image or pyramid, whatever we want to call it. So that this whole bottom triangle is about the individual as a ego, let's say, of your personality, of your the fact that you are a separate being. That's why you need all these. You're separate from the collective. You're separate from God, from the universe, whatever. Like that's why you have all of these needs. And as we get to the top, to self-actualization of turning on yourself, let's say, right? Of discovering who you really are, actualizing, um, like bringing into reality yourself, let's say, in all the ways that actualization could mean, um, like initializing some in some way your actual self through all of this. Then the self is um, what you're bringing into existence, let's say, and that stands just outside the tippy top of like, this is turning on the self. So then the self is the next thing, if we could understand it that way. And self transcendence is going beyond the self. It's what's on the other side of self. So we can see that it's the start of this next piece of the triangle. What's on the other side of self? It's unity. It's union with everything that there is, with oneness. That is what's on the other side of self. That's what you discover in your meditative experience in any tradition. Like when you achieve this state of being the observer, um, that is the universal experience of that is connectedness with everything in the universe. So the whole bottom triangle is about separation. And this whole top triangle then is about unity, where there is no self. It's what's on the other side of self, is no self, of dissolving the self into the unity. Um, and this then led me directly into the idea of the toroidal field, which is that kind of donut-shaped energetic field. If you think about what you what you get when you put a magnet with iron filings, um, it's that kind of shape where there's like a positive and negative or whatever. This is the way that energy flows around everything, um, material and also human beings. So the whole diagram then led me to this idea of um, this flow of like from ego and separation through the self into the realm of no self and unity. But it's not like it's not like this is the end of the journey and then you hang out there and you're just in the no self. Like you continue to have a life. And so the idea is that you're constantly coming back in to the bottom with a new agenda in some way, with a new perspective, with a new understanding, with a new problems or difficulties, or with new contracts that need to be um, dissolved, new karmic contracts, new whatever, however you want to call it, that need to be um, lived. Like this is the game to play this thing, over and over until you come to the end of your mortal journey, however we want to call that. So I'll just stop sharing here because that's that. Um, and it's already 8 o'clock, and I knew that I was going to get kind of um, overdone here, but um, okay. Um, So I started looking into, I mean, I've been doing a lot of studying through, um, the AI bots through Chat GPT and Claude are the ones that I'm using. And it is pointing me to, because I ask for the, source materials related to this kind of understanding of like some kind of dual phase of personal evolution. And it turns out that this idea goes like all the way back to Plato. I mean, in the Western canon, and obviously you know, in the Hindu mythology, it's all there, even though I don't know it very well, but like it's no surprise. Like people who would have studied that would say this is all in the Vedic writings, this kind of idea. For me, it's new because I'm just like, it came to me in this way. It came to me through trying to understand where self-transcendence fits in a geometry of um, because the geometry of that Maslow's hierarchy is so um, it feels so correct, except that it can't be correct that self-transcendence is going to be then the tiniest tippy top of a triangle. It's the purpose of all um, spiritual evolution is to transcend the self. That's what we're all busy trying to do in terms of um, uh, experience a more multi-dimensional reality than this 3D one that we're locked in.